Hey everybody, we've made it through our first week of all online instruction, which is good. I hope you're all doing well, that you're feeling well, and that things are maybe settling down a little bit with this new reality that we all live in. If you have questions or concerns about anything that's been due or that's coming up or anything along those lines, please let me know. I'll be glad to talk with you about them or make whatever accommodations I can for you. I'm just recording my weekly video for this week. This week we're going to be starting our content reuse assignment. So we'll be talking a little bit about XML. I'll go over some of the uh, things that you're assigned to do for this week, walk you through some things so that you have the information you need. So I'll switch over to my screen and walk you through it. All right, so I'm here in our Canvas page, our home page, and I have student view turned on. So what I show you today should look exactly like what you see now. We're here in week 11. Like I mentioned just a minute ago, we'll be getting started with with XML. And you can see that for the reading this week, you will be watching XML Essential Training videos, parts 1 through 3. So let me quickly walk you through how to get there. Let's go to the library website, library.unt.edu. Well, actually, I think the best way for me to do this is I just Google LinkedIn Learning UNT. And that takes us to this it.unt.edu page. LinkedIn Learning used to be called lynda.com. Maybe you knew it by that name. And I think we've watched a couple of these videos in our class before, so this is probably just a review for a lot of you. Anyway, you'll get to this page here. It's it.unt.edu/LinkedIn Learning. And then if you just click this little button down here, this will ask you to sign in with your UNT username and password and give you access to these videos that as a student of UNT you have access to. So the one that we'll be watching is called XML Essential Training. You can see that I've been going through it myself, but if you just come up to the search bar here and search for it, it's probably this first one that shows up. XML Essential Training from 2018 by somebody named Joe Marini. This is the one that you want. If I click on it, I can see the contents here, and mine have dots by them because these are the videos that I've watched. I'd like you to go through sections 1, 2, and 3. And honestly, I think it's a good idea to go through the introduction as well. In the introduction section, he tells you about this text editor that you can download called, what is it? It's called Codes, Visual Studio Code, yeah. This will help you with the content reuse assignment. You can use any text editor that you want, but I would recommend going with this one just because that's what he uses in the videos, so it'll look similar, and it might help you that way. So for this week, you're just watching the introduction, which I highly recommend, and then sections 1, 2, and 3. So if you have questions about this or you can't get to these videos for whatever reason, then please let me know. On Wednesday, I'm just asking you to write a quick progress report on how your content reuse assignment is coming. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Or you can write about aspects of XML that are confusing to you. Oops, I better fix this typo. Or that you're struggling with, and I'll do my best to help you. So I'm just looking for you to submit something that tells me how you're doing or any questions that you have based on the content that we're reading this week. So pretty standard for our class, and I'll be sure to reply to those to help you out. The content reuse assignment is not due this week. It's actually due next week at the end of the week, but I want to talk you through it because for this week and next week we'll be learning the skills that you need in order to do it. So the content reuse assignment is very different from the other assignments you've done before. You have 2 deliverables or 2 things that you'll turn in, and I would recommend, just so you stay on task, that you get deliverable 1 created this week and then you work on deliverable 2 next week. So deliverable 1 will be to create a data set of 10 cases with 5 to 10 variables in XML. You'll use XML to create semantic tags for the data, and then you'll just submit that as part of the assignment when this is due next week. So I know if you have no introduction to XML yet, you probably are wondering, well, what's a data set? What's a case? What are variables? What's a semantic tag? All of that stuff will become more familiar to you as you watch the videos. But I've created my own little data set with 10 cases and 5 to 10 variables each so that you can see basically what I'm looking for. What I chose to do here was to just pick 10 albums. I like music, and so I picked 10 albums and I created these little semantic tags to structure this data set in XML. So if you have familiarity with HTML, this may look familiar to you, having some text in between a tag like this one, and then a close tag like this one. It's a close tag because it has this little slash, forward slash before the name. But what's useful and nice about XML is the tags aren't predefined for you like they are in HTML. So if you don't know HTML, that's okay. But if you do, maybe it will help you to just compare the two. And so in HTML, for example, you have like a p tag or a div tag or different things like that are all predefined. In XML, you pick the names. So there is no like standard XML tag called album name or fave song or year. These are tags just that I made up because it describes what the content of this, or it describes what content this is in between the tags. So for this first part of the assignment, for deliverable 1, you'll be creating a sheet that looks just like this. Of course, it doesn't have to be albums. It can be whatever you want. It could be 10 superheroes, and the variables, the 5 to 10 variables might be like their, I don't know, their alter ego, what their superpower is, where they originated, like in comic books or in movies or things like that. I don't actually know a lot about superheroes, so I'm not much help there, but could be something like that. It could be food items. If there's, like I don't know, a particular meal that you like, you could have the name of the meal, the drink that you like to go with it, the I don't know. It's completely up to you. Basically, what you need to have is a data set with at least 10, whoops, I'm gonna move this out, with at least 10 items in it. In my case, what you're seeing here, each item is an album, and they're enclosed in these album tags and then a close album tag. And then for each item, you need to have 5 to 10 variables. So I've picked the name of the album, the artist, the year it was released, the producer, the number of tracks, and then what my favorite song is on the album. So, and I actually haven't listened to each of these albums all the way through, I realized. So maybe my favorite song isn't a fair assessment of what my favorite song really would be. So I need to do a little research on there myself. So hopefully seeing this helps you understand what it is that you'll be producing this week. And by the time that you've watched the videos, hopefully it makes a little bit more sense to you as well. I've also got links here for additional resources for you. This essential training takes you to the same LinkedIn learning videos that we just talked about. And then there's also these tutorials from this website called W3 Schools, and it's excellent if you haven't heard of it before. Really easy to use tutorials that show you different code, that explain it, that let you practice with it, and so on. So this may take some effort here. Anytime you're learning coding of any kind, there's a learning curve and it can be frustrating. So please, make sure that you're taking the time that you need and also asking questions when you have them. Next week, I'll be talking more specifically about deliverable 2. I won't mention it today. But this is the content reuse assignment. You can get started on it this week by learning about XML and asking questions in the progress report or letting me know how you're doing, and then working on that first deliverable, which is just this data set like the example that I've showed you here. Okay, last two things. If you are in group 5 or group 6 for the letting go of the words presentations, please make sure that you submit those by Sunday. Again, you'll just be submitting the handouts. I'll post them on Canvas. There won't be any presentation component for you. So that's how we're going to do that. And then I am in the process of putting the midterm exam from a Word document to Canvas. It takes a little bit of time to do that. So I'll have that done today, and I will make this link active when that's the case. So the midterm exam, once again, is optional, and it's for extra credit. It's all multiple choice, between 1 and 2 points per question. I think there's like 37 questions or something like that. It's open book, so I'd encourage you to take your time with it, but please feel free to do that if you feel that you would like to earn a few extra points there. And that'll be due Sunday at 11:59. All right, I think that is it for the week. I hope that helps. If you have questions, please let me know. Thank you.